new here, my name is Dr. Matt, and I'm one of the most experienced MCAT instructors in the country. Drop a line here if you have a question about med school admissions. We're not going to be on super long here, but let's go ahead and adjust this real quick. We are going to talk about the MCAT and getting into med school. So for those of you guys who are new here, drop those questions. Let's go ahead and record a really quick rant about the MCAT here in 5, 4, 3, 2, and there we go. If you have been taking MCAT practice exams and the scores are not turning out the way that you wished, but you keep doing the same thing, stop doing the same thing and stop failing the MCAT. Failing the MCAT means not getting a score good enough to go with your GPA and help you get an interview invitation. If you are doing this same passive constant review that you've been doing all along, chances are you are setting yourself up for failure. The only way to actually succeed is to do something different. So that starts, number one, with not doing passive studying. You need every single day to be doing practice problems that actually get used to the contextual recall for the MCAT. If you haven't done this, try it out. That is the very first thing that you need to do to stop failing the MCAT and get on a path to success so that you can work towards getting into med school. All right, guys, if you have a question, drop those questions here and we will jump into them in just a second while we are waiting for that. You guys drop those questions here. You know, I think we're probably only going to be on like 5 to 10 minutes today. So if you need help prepping for the MCAT, drop me a line. We're kind of in mid-cycle right now. I would say the majority of students who are working with me right now on their MCAT are kind of in one of two extremes. They're either really early preparers, right? They're the people who prep a full, year or two in advance of their MCAT, and they're on it. They're getting, they're getting into the rhythm of planning to study for like the next 6 to 9 to 12 months for the MCAT, or they're on the opposite extreme, right? They're jumping in to a stream that is already, way late for them, right? They're getting ready. They've already applied to med school and they're trying to add a better score. Both are totally awesome plans to have based on, where you are in your journey. Drop your MCAT and Premed questions here. Anything about med school admissions is welcome. All right, let me make sure we leave a quick instruction comment over on YouTube as well. Drop your MCAT and Premed questions here, or visit MCATboss.com for more. All right. All right. And today we have we have a new, if you guys have not seen the new page, the new MCAT Boss page, it has been the most popular version of the page that I have published to date. So go ahead and check it out if you have not already. If you're looking for my couple of free guides, or if you're looking for booking more help or taking my live class, or if you need one-on-one guidance as you take your MCAT, it's just MCATboss.com. Super straightforward, MCATboss.com. I am Dr. Matt, and I am the founder and the instructor from MCATboss.com. All right, guys, we'll do a really quick kind of bullet point summary for those of you guys who have are brand new to the game. The first most important thing that you need to know about the MCAT is if you are planning on being a doctor in the US, the vast majority of paths require you to take the MCAT. Number two, only about 40% of people who take the MCAT and apply to med school get in. Number three, if you want to be successful, do not do the passive content review that most students do. The vast majority of students spend the vast majority of their time doing passive content review. Okay? In fact, let's make this its own thing. Here we go. The top 5 must know facts about the MCAT. Boom. Here we go. Make that centered. And there we go. Okay. So let me change the text here. All right, let's just Okay. Here we go. All right. 1, 2, 3. Here are the top 5 things you need to know about the MCAT. Number 1, it is the test that you need to take for the vast majority of medical colleges in the US. Number 2, students take it usually during or after their undergraduate college. Number 3, most students do not do very well on this exam. Number 4, only about 40 to 45% of students who take this test and apply to med school actually get accepted. And number 5, if you want to do well, stop doing passive content review and start doing practice MCAT questions today. You are going to generally need to do around 3,000 to 5,000 practice questions to get close to optimizing your score on the MCAT. For more help, visit mcatboss.com. I'm Dr. Matt, and I'll see you there. All right, guys. Real quick, we'll take a couple of questions and then jump off. Fasted says, can anyone take the MCAT? I just like testing my knowledge. Yeah, anyone. You can, it's not a cheap exam and it's not a short exam. It's like a full, 7-hour exam. So if you just want to take it for kicks, you absolutely can. I don't think there's anything stopping. Jose says, I just took it. How do I get off? Okay. Yeah. If it's behind you, man, run. You don't need to be thinking about this anymore. Like, more power to you. Just get away, run for the hills, and assuming, of course, that your score comes back and you do not need to retake it, which of course is what I hope and wish for everybody. I would hope and wish that everybody has a good experience on it and does not need to retake it. That would. I've had students who've had to retake it up to 5. I should say this. I have had students who have contacted me after taking it 5 or 6 times on their own, and then, don't want to retake it again, work with a professional. Radiohead says, don't go to med schools. Yeah, med school's intense. I am thankful that I had the chance to go and thankful that I finished, and it is behind me, but it is definitely intense. I think that med school appeals. I think med school appeals to. In fact, you know what? Let's do this. Let me invisibilize this lower text box here for a second, and let's do this. So who is med school really for? Dun dun dun. Let's make it some red text here. Dun dun dun. There we go. Who is med school really for? Let's see. Medical school is intense. It is a little bit like college, extreme mode, and it's intense. It's 2 years of really intense science courses, and then you take a board exam to see what your cumulative recollection of all of those sciences are. And then it is 2 years of clinical training. And then again, you take board exams to see what your retention was there. And it covers all sorts of different clinical specialties. And it is like a million miles an hour. And it's really intense. There's lots of exams. So who is med school for? Med school, at least the way that it's done in the US, it's for the intense. It's for people who really, truly are ready for that sciencey stuff that they got in college, and medicine and humanity all crashing together in the hardest of times at a million miles an hour. Med school is for people who want something super intense and super challenging, and who are encouraged and not discouraged by constantly realizing that as much as they know, they really don't even know a fraction of what they need to know. And then they like putting the pedal to the metal and learning more and learning more and learning more. That is who med school is for. Med school is intense, but intense people like med school. All right. Couple final questions here, guys, and then we'll go ahead and jump off. Next one says, I got a 5/12 in the MCAT. My father is making me stick to real estate. There you go. Okay. You know, who says you can't do both, right? Next one says, does your specialty guidance allow for tutoring in more than just one section? Okay, VK, thanks for the question. So let me put my other little text box back up here. So yes, so I am my specialty guidance. Oh, okay. You're asking, I'm so sorry. I think you're asking about, let me see if do I have this on here? Okay. I think, VK, I imagine that you were asking about this. I'll turn that off in 1 second, but I think that you're talking about like my most popular sections. Yeah. So I'll be like super quick with this. I am not strict at all about people asking on more than one section. The only reason that says that it is like specialty section help is because the most common thing that I get asked about is students who are like, oh man, I burnt on one section, and they don't want to do the full, like say 50 or 60 hours or something. And so they want something smaller. That is what the sort of motivation for that one, the 15 hours. But yeah, the 15 hours are yours if you do that one. And then you can use it over literally whatever you want. General strategy, timing, just cars, just physics and chem, just cars and physics and chem, or cars and bio, or bio and physics. It's completely up to you. The time is yours. That is just how people generally use it. But yeah, it is just yours. And then I like super hyper customize everything to the individual student, their learning pattern. We specifically talk about what their gaps are, because my specialty specifically is that I'm really, really good at helping students who are hitting score plateaus figure out where in the content their gaps are. And if it's not content, and that's kind of one of the things that I think most of the big like $10,000 Kaplan courses and Princeton courses and things like that tend to fall apart, is they don't help students very well in this. Again, this is not my opinion. This is the sort of commentary that I have heard countless times from students over teaching the MCAT for more than a decade. And it's that the students feel like they often feel like the courses are like this shotgun of just retelling them all of the same content. And they don't feel like if the student has trouble, like let's say you know genetics really, really well, but then when you get on a genetics question, interpreting the question in a way that lets you solve the problem completely falls apart. Or the data interpretation completely falls apart, or falling for a trick answer makes you completely fall apart. Those are sort of the exam contextual prompting and things like that are drivers for your score as much as any other content. Yes. Yeah. So VK, now is the best time. Now is the best time to start studying if you're wanting to do a retake in January. If it just, again, be totally transparent. Students who are able to kind of start talking with me about setting up their like daily study plan for going forward with a test date in mind, 6 to 9 months from now. Those are most frequently my students who hit the 5 teens to 520s are the students who actually do that extended timeline rather than just doing the like rush of trying to do like 3 or 4 weeks or something, because you're able to get the hyper segmented correction of individual small content areas, and you're able to get the hyper segmented sort of like contextual read on like, these are the types of wrong answers that you constantly fall for. It's really, 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 really important to be able to pinpoint those, and so that you don't replicate the same mistakes. And the best way to do this is to actually give yourself that like 6 to 9 months of runway. And so if you're planning on taking like January or February or January through March, this is kind of the time to do that. If you are, so you can book directly through the site, by the way. If you need to email, it's just matt@mcatboss.com. If you do, I do it for anybody who ever does like a booking on a same day as a live, I try to hook them up. So whichever one you order, whichever set of hours you order, if you guys are doing it like off a live, like same day, I try to hook you guys up. The best, the thing that is the most popular is that those 3 packages, the whatever 15, 30 and where is it, this one right here. The way that I do this is I have been adding basically 3 free hours onto the first one, and then 6 free hours onto the second one, and 10 free hours onto that last one. So when students book same day, I really, really, really hook them up. If you're booking same day off a live, just when you book, just also drop me a line, and I will send your student agreement and all that good stuff with the complimentary hours added on. Just mention that while you are there and you're booking, and then I can usually get you on the calendar either by that evening or by the next morning, so that we can get the ball rolling like as soon as possible. Yeah, great questions, guys. Great questions. Okay, couple real quick things. So we're gonna wrap up here in a couple of minutes here. Braden says, I'm a USMD student, finished with step 1 and step 2. Do you think I can reapply to another school? Please keep in, so Braden, could you tell me what is the context of applying to another school? Could you let me know a little bit more context about what are you referring to, like a med school transfer? Or are you referring to something else? Please do feel free to let me know what exactly the context is, because I'm honestly not entirely sure what you are referring to there. Salt Recon says 98th percentile is almost unfathomable. You know, I do want to actually respond to that comment, just because when I started preparing for the MCAT, the first time I took a practice exam, I was coming off of having already, I had already finished undergrad. I had graduated with cum laude honors and all that other stuff. And I thought that getting on the MCAT was going to be like a simple extension of how great I was in school, and the fact that I studied hard and that I knew how to take a science exam. And when you take a practice MCAT and you can barely finish a section, or your scores are not great, it really truly is like a punch in the gut. It's you feel like, how is it possible that people can score that high? Why is it not possible for me? And it is possible. I self-taught my way to a 98th percentile score. So I had 200th percentile sections, physics and cars. Yeah. And then it seems like it's not possible, but when you're really, really methodical, and this is why I became an MCAT teacher, and still, even though I finished my MD, I still really enjoy helping kind of that next generation of students get their white coat and be on their journey. The kicker is that realistically, you're dealing with an exam that has 110 pages of content, guys, in bullet point form. And like in bullet point form, the topic list is 100 pages, 110 pages long. Like the official AMC guide, it is 110 pages long. And I think that it's very easy to understand, to underestimate how challenging it is to get that much content. But there is a way to do it. There's a methodical way to do it. This is what I teach. There's a way to methodically climb closer and closer to that score. All right, guys, we will wrap up. I'm going to take questions for a couple more minutes here. Okay, Olivia says, I took 6 practice tests, scored 515 plus the real test. I scored 510, really underperformed. Please expand on that. I always like hearing this. All right, there we go. I love to hear whenever students have any kind of like really major differential between their practice scores and the real test, because I'm always trying to collect information, as I try to train future students on things that become drivers. Because to date, I've seen a number of different things that have impacted that. Sometimes it is score variations that are driven by unrealistic testing conditions. So like students who just always score way, way, way higher, but they really, truly don't take it under real timed conditions at home. I've seen it under lots of other situations where students are taking a test and they kind of luck out on which content they know because they've really done a very patchy job of how they did their content prep. And then when they get on to their actual test, they realize, man, I actually only covered 40% of the content. And just the mere experience of taking it and having to be challenged on topic areas that they hadn't studied can do it. And then there's just like testing fatigue, and that can happen. I know you mentioned underperforming on psych. There are students who just, it's in the real world, taking a test that is a full day long is really, really hard. And it's just getting scaled to the level where you're staying awake and cognitively performing for that many hours is definitely very hard for a lot of people. It takes a long time to get conditioned. All right, we are going to go ahead and wrap it up there, guys. Thank you so much. Please make sure to visit mkboss.com. I, of course, will happily honor the extra complimentary hours with the packages like we talked about today. You can also email directly matt@mcatboss.com, and be sure to mention gotta love these wonderful comments from people who have zero skin in the game. Guys, you got this. If you are for real on the journey, there are ways to get closer. There are definitely ways to get closer to your goal score. Do not give up. Keep that momentum. And do not forget that the MCAT is just one thing to climb over. You just got to get on the other side. There's a white coat on the other side. And then the real journey begins, the med school and the training. And yeah.